Hello, everyone. Uh, my intention is to be live on, I think, 4 different platforms, which is, of course, Teams. And then we have YouTube, and then we have Teams, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Yep. And something might not be right somewhere, especially TikTok. I'm not sure if you can see me properly. I'm not really sure of that. Yeah, in case there are some problems, you'll pardon me because I didn't have enough time to set up my system. Yeah, as I mentioned on the test live stream, which I did previously, is that some people were using this place and my equipment were outside. So I needed enough time to connect my equipment. I don't know, whatever works. For those who are watching me from YouTube, probably you will have a lot of noise because I could not connect also the microphone as I normally do. Yeah, so the plan today is to talk about 5 best ways that we can use in selling our talents in Finland. 5 best ways to sell our talents in Finland. And let me put this on the presentation mode. Will this work? I don't know. But let's go forward and see if we can make this happen. Yeah, so the plan is to discuss 5 best ways that we can use as international talents in Finland in selling our goals. Yeah, but before I start, maybe I should take this time to acknowledge. Okay, so I don't have noise. Sorry, I have to figure out something here. AVF, okay. Yes, but before I start my session, maybe I should take time to recognize the presence of Marko Pietilä from Talent Hub Eastern Finland. Please, if you can come here and introduce yourself just briefly.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Marko Pietilä. I'm working at the University of Eastern Finland, and over there I'm working in this Talent Hub project. So we are offering services for our international students, and as you can see, there's 6 different educational institutions all over Eastern Finland in this, and the whole goal is to help our international students and international talents to find job in Eastern Finland. Thanks.
All right, thank you. So I was discussing actually with Mark a few minutes ago that the session is supposed to start at 1 p.m. and we had people who registered to come to this session, but no one is here yet. Yeah, and this is one of the major challenges when it comes to foreigners in Finland. And this is the honest, brutal truth that people do not observe time. You know, back in our countries, for instance, in Tanzania, this is something which people may not take it very seriously because we understand each other. Even here, I'm not always like very strict when someone comes late to the meeting because I understand. Though myself, I'm very barely I could go somewhere late. And if I'm late, I always send a text message. I will be late maybe in this minute. Yeah. So this is one of the major problems. And even the previous speaker, I had brought us my brother Christopher Mukwege. He's owning a business. He's from Congo. He's owning a business under Tori there. And he came and mentioned the same thing. And he said, even himself as a shop owner, he's employing also some people, but he observed most foreigners, if not 90%, they don't observe time. They don't observe commitment, appointments. So at the end of the day, he's like, no way, I can keep on, hiring these guys. But he also joined other people. He will be like, I'm sorry, your Finnish language is not that good. So please, if you can give us some space. And I believe that's some percentage of the employers, they are so much concerned with how much we keep our time, how much we keep our commitment, communication, very, very small things, but people observe because they count when it comes to work. How much productive are you? How much time are you using at work? Are you paying attention to things that you're supposed to pay attention? If you are always late, you have less time, you come very late and you leave before on time or even before time, I mean, you will not be as productive as you're supposed to. And it really, really counts when it comes to employment. Anyway, but that was not the point of discussion today. Like I said in the beginning, the point is to discuss 5 best ways to sell your talent in Finland. I'm not very sure if you guys from TikTok, you're able to see my presentation. If you're not able to see my presentation, then please carry on, listen to what I'm presenting, and I will share the presentation in other forms. And I will not be able to answer back on your comments or your question on the comment section below. Yes, but maybe I will go through your comments after this session, and I will address your comments after this session at some days later by responding through videos. Yes, so let's go forward. Number one thing which I wanted to communicate is that I think from year 2022, that's when I started to wake up from the inactive mode. I have been dormant for a very long time. I came to Finland 2016, so that's 9 years back. Yes, I was so much active for the first 2 years while I was studying. I was doing my master's degree at University of Eastern Finland, so I was so much active doing these entrepreneurial activities. I even had won some funding from the Draft Challenge. 4,000 euros, though I only ended up using, I think, less than 500 euros because you have to use and then you request for money. So I only used about less than 500 euros. The remaining amount, I was drifted away from this entrepreneurial activity because I was now looking for a job, finding ways to survive. Yeah, and this is what also goes along to other people. Yeah, but from 2022, I started to be active. I started organizing communities, calling out to people, like, what are the things we are supposed to pay attention to in order to make sure that we live our lives effectively in Finland. And among the things that I did was to asking random people who were doing these so-called casual jobs or blue-collar jobs, cleaning, vault. So everyone I was asking a question, so what is the other thing you are doing besides this cleaning? They will tell you, I'm a graduate, master's degree, international business, or I'm a graduate, engineering. Some people, they have been business managers. They have been business managers back from the home country. For instance, I've talked to most of my friends from India. Actually, not my friends. These are just random people I was meeting on the way. So most of the guys coming from India, they have been business managers, they have been sales experts, they have been recruitment specialists. They have so much experience. And not just that, even from my other brothers from Ghana, Nigeria. So I've talked to a lot of people, and most of the people, they have so much experience, so much profession. But by one reason or another, after coming to Finland, everything shattered away. Every dream was shattered away. So the question comes here, why do we have so many people who are coming to Finland with experience, with a lot of talents, but for some reason they end up disappearing from the radar, professional radar? Why does it happen? Is it because Finland is worse than other countries? And some people, mostly from TikTok, they are responding like, okay, now they come to understand Finland is maybe it's not a really welcoming place for foreigners. So they try to define Finland as if it's very, very bad. And now I'm being honest, I'm not trying to speak for Finland. I'm being very honest. Yeah, so they try to address Finland as the very, very, very like hard place. But let's take a moment and compare to where we are coming from. Is Finland really the worst? And I don't think so. I don't think so. Not because Finland is the worst, but the problem is on our journey to Finland, we all had some expectations. We had some expectations, and one among the biggest expectations that most people have is straightforwardness. I put it on the presentation. Most people expect when I just go to Finland, I do my studies, after I graduate, I get my good job, I get a good salary, I save some money, I send some money back home, and that's life is gonna be. So I'm gonna bring my family here. So that's what people do when they calculate things. Like things are going to be straightforward, just like that. And when things are not going as straight as you had expected, that's when you become too confused and frustrated. And I'm not saying that there are no people who are living in hard situation. There are people who are really frustrated, no income, threatened to be deported from April because of this 3-month unemployment rule. So some people are really going through a hard time. But the thing is, would it be different if you were living in your own country? Do you think you would have been in a better situation? I think most of the people, maybe not so much different. Even for my case, for example, as much as I don't have any connections in Finland, that's how much I had no connections in my own country. I struggled after I finished my bachelor degree. I really struggled to get a job. I was lucky because someone was opening a new company, and I was connected to the people who were called to that company. So they passed the tip to me. And it's the same thing which is happening in Finland. If you're not connected, you can stay long time without getting any opportunity. So the thing is, now you're already in Finland. So what is next? What now? What now? You don't have an income, yes, or you're doing cleaning, or you're doing what? Business. The question is, so what now? And my suggestion or my recommendation is that at some point we have to consider going back to the basics. Let's go back to the fundamentals. How would you have marketed yourself, or what would you have done? Oh, the presentation is not here. How so? Oh my God. Apologies for that. Presentation was supposed to come on this screen. Yeah, but it needed some configuration here because that is supposed to be an output. Oh, okay, you can see it here. So I hope you can manage that. I don't know how I'm gonna have to manage to put only the screen. I couldn't do it. Yeah, so let's go back to the fundamentals. How would you have, or what would you have done if you were in your own country, or if you were in China, or if you were in Thailand? What would you have done as a talent to make sure that you market yourself? And that is here what I wanted to discuss with you. And maybe before I discuss this thing with you, I should what did I want to say? Maybe I will say it later. Let's go forward. So I'm going straight away to discuss now the 5 best ways that you can use to market yourself or to sell yourself as a talent to Finland. And I'm talking about Finland. This message is tailored for those living in Finland, but it's the universal message which should help anyone from any place. Number 1, let us know that in order for you to start to be known, you must first make sure that those who are within your closest circle, they associate with your talent, or they associate with you in relation to your talent. They have to know your talent. But we are in the moment where, now I'm talking about Finland, we're in the moment where now your neighbor, someone whom you share the table with eating, it could be your classmate, it could be your schoolmate, it could be your roommate. They have no idea where you are good at. This is the real situation. I have a lot of people, I have to ask them, what are you good at? And we have been meeting always. But not only me knowing them, I could ask someone else, maybe they are living in the same apartment. So your friend, what is he good at? What can he do? Does he take photography? Does he dance? They have no idea. All they know is my friend is also studying the same class with me, or maybe if it's not the same class, well, he's studying master's degree from this university. That's all I know. And still, you would expect this guy to complain, why is he not hired? His own neighbor does not know what he's doing or what he's good at. So make sure that you allow your neighbors to know what you're doing. And so if you check to the title, I said you have to help and serve your peers. The point here is that discover what the needs that your friends or your closest friends have that you could have help with your talent. You have to learn about that. And when you have known it, you have to start to serve them. Maybe you can do it casually from the outside so that they don't see you doing it formally, but in your own mind, you put your seriousness, like, this is where I'm projecting to. I think this is the way Mark Zuckerberg started, because he built Facebook only for his friends. Good enough, he captured the interest, and within, I think, 24 hours, I think he had reached over 1,000 people. I don't know if it's just 1,000. I think it's more than that. And then he spread to other neighbor universities, and then it just went viral. But he started from the closest point, and this is what we have to do. We have people who are they can do hair works. Now I don't know how even to call that. They can do this hair work. We have people who can do the barber thing. but they are waiting to be called by a big company, while the closest friend has to go out to look for someone to cut the hair. That could be an opportunity. So what are the benefits here? Number one, this allows you to start from your humble beginning, and you have a chance to grow without any pressure. No one would take you to the court or I don't know, or speak bad against you, even if you don't perform in the professional manner. But also, if you start to help your friends, those who are closest to your network, your classmates, you commit to the cause. And this is another reason why most of us, we have not attained anything over the long period of time. For instance, myself, I've had so many talents for a very long time, but I have been drifting from one thing to another. And of course, most people would say because you don't focus. It's not true. The truth is most people change depending on the relevance. You can't come here and then you realize most people need photography and you're a photographer and you would say, okay, I would stick to, I don't know, making the cookies because that's what I do and I want to focus on that. And you have a lot of people who need photographs. So you always change depending on the relevance. What is the environment needing at that point in time? And that is as long as you had not committed yourself yesterday to some of the customers. So starting serving some of your closest friends, somehow it helps you to commit to a particular cause. So even when environment changes, you had already put subconsciously some sort of a commitment that I must do this because I already know some people who are in need of this device or of this service or product. But number two, the number two best way to sell your talent is to join communities and to offer to help. This is another challenge, Marko, that we have with the most international people living in Finland. People only want to get an income. They don't have time to network. They don't have time to go to the events or any programs. And of course, it is understandable. I understand because I've been there. At some point, you're going to have to think like, do I have to go and spend 2 hours in the event? This time I could be delivering my food. And maybe I could have got 20 euros. I can't do this. So you always have to use that comparison like, okay, 2 hours really for the event? Well, I could have gone somewhere to do my work or my cleaning. I could have got, oh, my phone is about to go out of charge, and this is what provides the internet. Sorry, I have to reconnect. Where is my bag? I have to reconnect this. So sorry guys, I'm coming back. Yes, my only source of internet is about to go down. Yes, so that's the challenge most people have, and but this is what I tell people, and I even told my mentees in our previous meeting that at some point you're gonna have to break the circle. You have to do it intentionally. Otherwise, life will keep taking you in the circles because always there are circles in life, not just as a student. We have people who are hired. They are also going in circles. They can only go to work and come back and sleep, and they have to wake up and go back to work again. They have no time to do other things. They have no time for the family. They have no time to do other casual things. They have no time to educate themselves. If they would set time to educate themselves, then they don't have time to work, and the boss will complain.
Comment.
Yeah, yes, please.
So especially for the students, it would be very important to get associated with the student union and the student association. So over there you can actually get those connections to your own field of science or your own field of studies. For example, when I was a student, I was involved to our student association work, and from there I still have plenty of connections to my own field of studies. So that's how you begin your like professional networks. Then another way to really get involved is to take part in the voluntary work. There's a plenty of opportunities to do voluntary work in Finland. Like Finland is the mecca of associations. We have these all kinds of associations and like bigger ones and smaller ones, like Red Cross and things like that. And I'm running the trainee program in the university, and I have noticed that those students who have been involved on those voluntary work, they seem to get the work easier.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I just today, one of our students got a placement in Vamos, and well, he had done voluntary work in Red Cross, and of course,
That is very true.
so it was obvious. There was something like 50 applicants for that post.
I see. I see.
And I guess that the Red Cross voluntary was the thing.
That's true. That's a very, very important point. Very, very important point Marko has brought here. That is the benefit of joining a community and offer help. Of course, I will also repeat. These are the points which I had already put in this presentation. So I will repeat what he has already said. Point number one, you have to understand it is very, very hard to join an established organization or company. Yeah, because of the recruitment process. We have only 2 posts, 500 applicants. It's difficult. I mean, you already see the chances very, very minor. And my friends in TikTok, please let me know if you can hear me properly. I've just done this setup very quickly, and I'm not sure if you can hear me properly. Please comment on the comment section. I can see. Let me know if you can hear me properly so that if there's anything to fix, I can fix. My friends who are in YouTube Live, probably they are receiving a lot of noise because I could not be able to connect a microphone which was intended to be used. All right, so that's it. It is very hard to join an established organization or companies directly because of strict policies. Even when you go and volunteer, sometimes you will not be accepted, not because they don't want you at the workplace, but because the policies do not allow. Even this place, I've worked here 6 months as a trainee, but after finishing, despite a good number of people, they really wanted me to continue working here, but the policy restricted that. And they have been so much open to me to the extent that I saw exactly why I cannot continue to work here. So that is true. But when you become active to communities, number one, some people in these established organizations or companies are always there in their communities, are always there. Some people from the Employment Services Office could be a member of a particular community somewhere. So when you go and volunteer, then you increase the chance of being visible, even to the employers. So this is even the better chance than working on your CV. You can work on your CV, make your CV like it has never been made before. But probably no one will even going to open it if you're not in the radar where somebody can say, really, this guy. Yes, please.
Can you actually hear if I speak?
Of course, they should be able to. Yes, please. You can use this.
So, especially for the CVs, you really know those local connections to referees to the end of the CV, so that your future employer can actually call to somebody and ask, how is this person like? Because that's what Finnish employers do. They always call to somebody first before they make their decision. And if you have been volunteering in some organization, you can put your supervisor in the voluntary organization, for example, into your CV as a reference. Of course, you have to ask from him or her first if it's possible, but usually it's okay. And then the employer has a phone number to call, and that's very important.
Exactly. So that was one benefit. But number two, when you join any community, you have a chance of demonstrating your value. I've been emphasizing that the reason you get or you don't get a job in Finland is not language. This is what I've been emphasizing, though it contradicts a lot of people, but I've been using this context that language can only be, language first of all is very much important. You can never omit the role of language, but it can play 2 roles depending on your suitability in the network. If no one knows you, no one trusts you, no one thinks you will do as much as they would need you to do, language is going to be your restriction. Language is going to restrict you if you don't speak Finnish language. They will say, I'm sorry, you don't speak Finnish language.
It's the excuse.
Yeah, and one thing which I mentioned about Finns, and I'm sorry if you will be offended. I said Finns, they hate to hurt someone else's feelings. I've noticed this with most of people. So they are always careful in choosing words that they show this guy, even if we are rejecting him from work, at least there should be a good reason so that he will not feel depressed. So instead of saying, you are really bad, I mean, you don't have the value we need, that is a negative comment. It's not good. They will say, maybe you should improve your Finnish language a little bit, because that will not disappoint you as much as it could have disappointed if they were told you really have the quality, you don't have the quality that we need. That is going to leave you depressed. So that's another thing you should know. Another thing is, anyway, finishing this point is that when you work to the communities, most of the time, no one in any community would say, please don't do anything if you don't speak Finnish language. Any community, they will try to find a way to accommodate you, even if that community includes only the Finns. I have been in these communities with Finns who struggle to speak English, and they said, please, maybe we can also learn English from you. Let us communicate. And they allowed me to work and demonstrate my works, and it really counted. So you have to really understand that they allow you to show your value. So if there's anybody from any industry that can see you, they will not call you immediately. But the thing is, the moment any shortage of someone appears somewhere, they will quickly remember that we know a certain guy from a certain community, he has these qualities. I have known a good number of people who have been hired in different companies here. They had poor Finnish language skill, including nursing, which demands strict fluency in Finnish language. I have seen some people who have been hired with a poor Finnish language skill, but good enough, they were able to, within 2-3 months, they were able to now speak very fluently because they had been subject to the environment that requires Finnish. But Finnish language was not a restriction for them going there. It's because they first demonstrated the value, they were trusted, and I don't know, they put themselves in a way that an employer can say, okay, this guy will add something to this company. But on the other side, this is an opportunity to demonstrate professionalism, also to learn professionalism. When you are serving a community, most of the time you would be somehow pushed to put your work in such a way that anyone else can accept it. This is different from if you are just doing your own things. If you take pictures on your own, most of the time you would negate other things which are unnecessary. But when you are doing your work with a community, you always try to psychologically, you push yourself to make your work professional. And this is what people need. People just don't need any photographer. People need a photographer who understands how to do the work professional. This professionalism tag, it affects so much. People will not tell you that, we need somebody who looks professional, but that's what they are looking for. That's why sometimes you may lose customers just because you don't have the right equipment. You might be a very expert, but as long as they don't see you wearing the big camera, the big lens here, you may lose any customer because they want that professional look or professionalism that you can demonstrate. Yes, that was it. But number 3, best way to sell your talent in Finland is to establish reliability. Now, we discussed with Marko when we were starting this session. Among the other things that can show you can be a reliable person is your ability to show up on time. Time, not just in Finland. I think this is any other place, except that Finland is very strict. Finland is very strict. Even when it comes to the hospital, you are late, you will be charged. I think 45 euros up to 60 euros. Anyone, not just foreigners, even Finns themselves. You are late, you did not show up on time, you are being sent a bill. You have to pay for that. So Finland is very much strict on time. This is not in my country. In my country, I have never heard somebody would be charged because they were late. No. But this you can find in Finland. So that's number 1 thing which can show you can be a reliable person. But number 2, how you communicate yourself, the way they would hear you speak. How are you arranging your thoughts? How are you arranging your words? This can give an impression to your potential employer that maybe they can rely on you. But other things, for example, I mentioned here in the presentation, how bold can you show yourself? The initiatives. One of the things which have been emphasized, for example, now I cannot remember even the size, but one of the things which have been requested from the foreigners in Finland is showing the self-initiatives, come up with ideas. And I think entrepreneurship has been emphasized. Like, please, as foreigners, please, why don't you go this path? I think that's what Finland wants people to go. So you have to come up with ideas, different ideas, propose different things. If they see you proposing these things, then somehow your reliability level rises and you increase the chance of even getting employment. Communication, if somebody sent you an email, do you respond? If you don't respond, somebody, even no matter how casual, no matter the person, there are some people that have communicated like myself. I would never recommend them if I get an opportunity somewhere because I have already seen how they behave towards me. I send them an email, they don't respond back. So even when I hear an opportunity and the boss says, "Can you trust this guy? Like, can we trust? I don't know. Can we trust him on his behalf? Something like that." I would definitely say, please, no, because of how they have been behaving. But if you demonstrate to me how well you communicate, I can easily pass your name to somewhere else where there's an opportunity. But also how, of course, I've already discussed about time, complaints as well. There are always problems in Finland. There are problems in any other country, but do you always complain or do you also act in looking for a solution? That's another thing. If you always complain and you don't put any suggestions on the table, regardless whether your suggestions have been taken or not, people look at that. But also your friendliness, you have to demonstrate how friendly you are. And unfortunately, you cannot demonstrate friendliness by being quiet, by being dormant. You have to be active so that people can see you are being friendly. If you are just always sitting on the corner, what happens is that no one notices you. So even when an opportunity passes by somewhere, you will barely be remembered for any opportunity. You will barely be remembered. But the other thing which can increase your reliability is how much consistent are you? And when I say consistent, it's like this. I call you today, maybe you join our community today and you have realized there's a particular need that you can help. But you help today, tomorrow you are not here anymore. We don't see you. And we believe maybe you could have helped holding the camera, but you're not here anymore. Why? Maybe because somebody told you we have to pay you for you to help. That also counts. Then we will conclude you are not a reliable person. And I've actually met also other people whom initially they said, okay, please, we'll go together in your project. Not this actually. Not this, but I had many other projects, of course, some of them which failed. Yeah, I had people who joined me in the beginning, and that's what made possible in that project to initiate. But later on, they all started to lose interest, and they went on to do their own things. So even from my own angle, from my own perspective, I said these guys are not reliable. I would not ever call them again in anything that I'm starting. And I would not recommend them to any opportunity that I hear because they will go there, they will disappoint, and I can take the blame. So you have to learn how to build the consistency as well. And next point is why, okay, this 22 to, okay. So that was point number 3. Your reliability is your selling factor. But point number 4, you have now to create a pattern of service. Let's say you have already succeeded to serve your friends. They know your talent. You have joined the community and offered help and they accepted your help. Next point is create a pattern of service. That means, so this is kind of the same as creating consistency. But be there, you don't have to be there every time the community needs you. But you can tell them, for example, I can only show up once in a week if they're meeting every day, or once in a month. But at least they have to understand that on this date, on this day, on this time, this guy is always here and he does his work effectively, perfectly. When people start to notice that thing, then you start to stick into their minds. So I wrote here that first of all, you have to be clear when you would be available for the service. So, and this should give you the time to do other things like ward, cleaning. So you keep on doing things to survive, but you decide to set aside some time to demonstrate your value or a service to some community. But number two, this creates anticipation from the service beneficiaries. Actually, this is the secret of business. Any business, they don't talk about this because this is the secret code. Maybe if you know it, you will try to reject them. But any business operates through a tactic called anticipation. They create anticipation so that you would start to expect to get a product from them. This is how you create a cycle where every day they will get to sell you something. That's why we have summer clothes, winter clothes, summer clothes, winter clothes. You know, after now winter is ending, people are anticipating some new stock of summer. You know, this is how businesses are able to sell to the optimum level. So, and that's what you need to do. Show up regularly in the time which can be defined to create anticipation from the people who are benefiting from your service. But also, in the same point, officialize. If you have already established yourself, they have already known that, okay, this guy always helps us with photography. Find a way to register your business and communicate to them through the business title. Like, okay, now I continue to help you as I always do, but now I'm acting as a business using this name. So I've mentioned 2 points here. Number one, of course, adapting to you start to adapt to formality, both psychologically and physically. Physically, that means you start to know the things you are supposed to execute as an entrepreneur, which is what you need. Yeah, what makes people successful, most people think is a talent, but it's not a talent. Talent is only a tool. What makes people successful is the ability to carry out a business. How knowledgeable are you when it comes to entrepreneurial stuff? That's why we have so many people with extreme talents, still they die poor. And we have people who have no talent. Some people would refer to them as the jack of all trade. Have you heard that saying, that a jack of all trade is the master of none? And it seems like a bad statement, but it works well for good. We have some people who are non-expert in any of the stuff, but what they do is that they start to hire people who are now mastering one thing. You hire, and now you, jack of all trade, you know almost everything. You know about sales, you know about marketing, you know about communication, you know how to seek deals, you know how to close the deals, everything little by little, and you continue to upgrade little by little. So that's the good point, or the good thing about formalizing your service even before you start to get paid. But also, this is a chance to promote your talent as a brand. When the people you serve start to associate you with the brand, for some reason, you create anticipation from them to start dealing with you as a business. And if you had established the dependency properly from them, it would be easy for you to request a payment, of course, which is the next point. It will be easy for you to request to be paid for the service. Why? Actually, I can give you an example. Let's say even this X or even Facebook. Facebook used to provide the access to the platform free of charge. And they have collected a lot of people in these platforms. And now I don't even recall when Mark Zuckerberg then introduced this. You have to pay a fee if you want to be a verifiable member. Of course, some people complain a little bit, but you don't have any option because you have already put yourself in the service that you needed. You can't just disconnect. The same happened to X when Elon Musk said, now we are starting to collect membership fee. Many people complain, but you don't have an option because you have already gone into the thing. So that's the secret of creating this dependency in the community. When they know you will always show up and you do the service to an extent which no one else does, then you stand a chance to say, okay, please, maybe please, could you give me this little so at least I can be able to accommodate my life and other things. And at the same time, you become visible to other people who can actually be your customers. Okay, so the points here, we'll just read them quickly. I said people feel uneasy to pay unprofessional service providers. This is very true. You can always be extremely talented, but as long as you have the unprofessional tag, people will always feel uneasy to pay you. They would rather look for someone who is professional and agree to pay 100 euros, which they say to you, that's too much expensive to pay to you. But they will agree to pay someone who has the professional tag. But also, it's easy to agree to pay you once they see, okay, this is point I've already said. Ask to charge, not to get rich. Now, I'm speaking about the communities. But just ask it to charge only to officialize the relationship, to formalize the relationship. They have to know you as a business. But also, if you don't ask for it, you may not get it. And actually, this is the key in Finland. This is another thing you have to understand about Finland. I've studied this in many of the videos. Finnish people, they have the so-called personal space. Personal space. That means that very rarely you would have somebody come to comment something on you if you don't have that formal relationship or if you're not that much close. Barely somebody would come and interfere with you, trying to comment on something or ask you to do something. It's very, very rare. And this comes to even to daily interactions. If you don't ask, for example, someone can see you are trying to drink some water somewhere and you're struggling, but if you don't ask for help, please, can I have that water? You may not get that water. And not because someone else wants to take it, that water may stay there and even get destroyed. No one will even touch it. But you have to say, please, can I take that? Can I take that? I want to go this way. You have to say. I have so many people who are complaining against the TE office, of course, by then. Now responsibility have been pushed to the municipals that have registered as a job seeker and nothing is happening. So they are complaining. The imagination is that after you register, then you start to get instructions on what to do. Of course, which is what could have happened if it was, let's say, my country, Tanzania. The one who has recruited you, then they have to figure out all the things that you have to do, even if it's you, it's about you. Yeah, but it's different here. After registering, you have to find a ways, like, what could I do to help me using the platform as an advantage? So, for example, the things that you may request to go to do the Finnish school. You have to meet with your TE coach and tell them, I need to do a language school. And then if it falls within the circle of the things you're allowed to do, then they will organize the course for you. And I've realized that most of the package are there, but they are always unused because they don't answer it to you because you haven't mentioned that you want them, but you haven't said anything because you are waiting for the instructions. So that's Finland. You have to say, you have to ask and you shall receive. But also be open for negotiation. Sometimes some people may not have anything to pay you if you are asking to charge. Sometimes it is very true. Most of the business, they are startup business in Finland. They really want to even hire people. And I'm speaking this boldly because I've been talking to different entrepreneurs. For example, now I've even started to go to Hub panels. I'm meeting with entrepreneurs there. Last week I was Incrum, I don't know, I don't even recall the name, but I went to another cooperative of entrepreneurs, and I also talked to them. So I've been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs, and I come to realize that a lot of entrepreneurs, they wish they could have hired somebody, but they are not capable of doing that. Yes, they have to apply for fund. If they are lucky to get the funds, then they may announce, but very few are fortunate to get the funds, which is why they don't hire a lot of people. So that's another thing. So you may recognize a particular entrepreneur or any company which is a startup in need of your service, and you ask them to pay you, and they say, please, we don't have any money to pay you. You don't have to just go away. Calculate. If you still can do it anyway, you can just do it. Try to negotiate, even if it's free of charge. Try to negotiate on marketing. For example, you can say, okay, please, I take photographs for free, but I have to use you as my marketing tool somewhere else. That's another thing which you can do. So that is all. I've already given you the 5 ways that you can use in selling your talent, but there are things, of course, which you're supposed to observe. Number 1, find a way to survive. Actually, I'm just repeating now most of the things which I've already discussed. Number 1, always find a way to survive in Finland because you have to survive. Yeah, if you don't have a way to survive, you may lose everything. Find a way to survive, but make sure it does not submerge you. This also happened to me. I actually survived. I found a way to survive in year 2017, but I ended up changing the survival to my normal life for 5 years. for 5 years. Why? Because I was waiting for the convenient time to get out, and that convenient time never comes. Not not to you as a student, not to you as an entrepreneur, as an employee. We have people who have been employed, but their lives are going in circle, and they wish to change, but they cannot because the life keeps them going in circle. Mr. Robert Kiyosaki calls this the rat race. I don't know how to imagine the rat race, but maybe it's like you have a stick somewhere and you are chasing the cheese, and the cheese keeps on running away. So make sure your survival does not cost you. Intentionally set the time apart to join a community, set the time apart to work on your talent, set the time apart to use your talent to help your friends. Whatever the talent you have, it can still be used in Finland. This is what I've learned. Though people will tell you as a foreigner, you cannot use your professionalism here. The truth is, it's hard to get into the employment industry, but no one will ever stop you from exercising your talent. And when you start exercising your talent, that's when you start to become visible. That is the truth. That is the truth. Yeah, so attend events and programs, not when free. You have to intentionally set the time apart, because life is like water. It always levels out. If you omit something, you will always find some other thing to fill up that gap. It's like you have a bucket and you have taken the water. Always it levels up. It always levels up, and that is how life is. So if you say, okay, I'm waiting for a free time before I can go to any event, you will wait a long time. You will wait maybe until when things are not moving anymore. That's when you say, okay, now I have to make a step, which may probably be already too late. So set out the time to do so. Another thing which you have to observe, always talk about your talent, skills, or work. Of course, you may be threatened sometimes, like, okay, Finnish people, they don't like people who like to boast, which is true. But the thing is, you have to calculate which one works better for you, to keep quiet as Finns, or to do something about it. And actually, even Finns, they don't keep quiet, but they have their not very aggressive way of marketing themselves. I would say not very aggressive. People from US or other countries or UK, they have really aggressive way of marketing. Really aggressive way of marketing, which you cannot find in Finland. But it's not that Finnish people are quiet. And what happens here is that for us foreigners, after we come to Finland and we hear Finnish people are quiet, so we have to adapt to that culture. So we also zip our mouth. We go to our rooms, we close the door. That's why you would find some people, a year has passed. He has not met anyone. And I was there, of course. I have this one Finnish friend. She's an old woman, I think about 50s now. She used to tell me every day, please, how many friends have you met now? And I was like, no one. A year had passed. Second year, how many friends have you met now? So she was pushing me every day, until when later on I decided to change. And after changing, then I understood that, we become more than Finns. We are locking ourselves in the door, and this has happened to most of the people. Yeah, but another thing, get time to educate yourself on entrepreneurial stuff, and not just entrepreneurial stuff. Be the person who seeks to know about things. Don't just do work, because now people, because they have to survive, all they know about is world. All they know about is cleaning, and that's it. If you ask, why, so you are so much talented in photography, why are you only in cleaning? Oh man, I have to survive. If it's not cleaning, how will I survive in Finland? That's true, it's very hard. But you have to make an intentional effort to make sure that you have other channels to start becoming visible. If you keep on complaining, I have to survive, man, that could not work for you. So know about other things. Sometimes you just need to know a few tips. You just need to know a few tips, and then they can easily drift you to a completely different channels. But last but not least, observe the government policies and other regulations. It's very much important. It's easy to violate some of the policies. I've seen my fellow internationals who are violating some of the things which I will not say. And of course, the thing about, for example, now the thing about Finland, even when they notice, sometimes you will not hear a single word. You will not hear a single word. But it's not that they are not seeing, they are seeing you and monitoring. But one day you might be surprised. You might be surprised, knock on your door, please, you only have 3 months, get out of this country. There are those incidents which have happened. Yeah, so always be careful. Be careful when it comes somebody you know you are not supposed to maybe share your somebody's privacy to maybe to the public. You did it anyway. People may not be reacting on your pages. Maybe you can say, or maybe they are not looking. But trust me, people are looking. They may not like, they may not react in any way, but people are looking as long as you are operating in a platform which other people can see. Even when it comes to, say, even worth, some people are sharing their accounts, which is not allowed by policy. And of course, which may not pose a danger for now. But the thing is, if you're caught, don't blame anyone. Don't blame anyone. So that was just an example. Yeah. And that is all. That is all I wanted to discuss with you today. And so I will try to see if we have any questions. And actually, no one joined on Teams, but I will not cut it because I'm using this on TikTok. Yes, if you are you have any question you might want to ask, please, you may ask now. We have some time. Yes, I will try to go through the comments. Unfortunately for you guys on Facebook, I cannot see any comments there. So I will check later and maybe I will respond afterwards. Yeah. If you have any question, and I'm using this TikTok live app, I don't know if I'm even able to allow somebody to join in to give me any comments. You may try to request. Okay, I have 2 messages here. Where are the messages? I cannot see them. I cannot see a message. Anyway, thank you guys all for connecting. I really hope that you have learned something. I really hope that you have learned something. And I really hope that you will make intentional efforts to make sure that you get out of the cycle. Always, 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 you have to find a way to get out of the cycle. It's very hard to find job nowadays. It's very hard to connect, but still, as long as you know this is the only way, you have to go through that way. You have to find a way to go through that path. Yeah, you may continue to do what, you may continue to do cleaning, but set out some time. Set out one day, set out a few hours to make sure that these hours, I have to find a community to join. I have to use my talent in helping out some other people. Well, because I don't have any questions here, I will try to check in Facebook if I have any reaction. If not, then probably what I have to end the session. Well, and Facebook even closed. My phone went out of charge. Well, yes, but no problem. Well, thank you so much, guys, all for connecting. I will try to reshare. Okay, Binary, I can see your message. You're asking, already in Finland for 6 months, but I could not find any job. And you have said again, if you can help us to find a job, it would be great, brother. First of all, thank you so much for commenting. Please, if any one of you have sent me a text already or a comment which I've not sent, please, you can send again so that I may respond. Yes, now I don't know if it's Mr. or Mrs. Binary bots. I'm really trying to make an effort into helping other foreigners. Yes, one of the things that I've realized is that people are really going through hard times. People are really going through hard times nowadays, not just for those who are in streets who have already graduated, even for students. They are supposed to find fees, they are supposed to pay for expenses and something like that, and still finding a job is very hard. So it is indeed very hard. Yes, but a few of the things which I'm doing at the moment, I've been in contact with the Employment and Services Office here in Kuopio, and I've been discussing this thing with them, and I keep on discussing with them how can we help internationals to address this thing. Answers are very much hard to find. That's the truth. It's very much hard to find the answers, but at least I get some people who are willing to hear me out. They're willing to discuss, and they are willing also to try to put this into their plans to discuss it to find any answers. Yeah, apart from that, I've tried to contact some of the recruitment agencies to ask if they can share with me any opportunities that they come across with, which might need international workers. So I'm also discussing with them, and I'm looking forward to connect with other recruitment agencies so that we can establish a link if there are any true opportunities where people can work, then they should connect with me. Yeah, so I'm sending emails. I'm not getting any responses yet, but maybe something can work out. And not only that, I've also been in contact with cooperative Finnish entrepreneurs cooperatives. These are the cooperatives where different entrepreneurs meet and discuss or do their things together. The plan is to make Finnish entrepreneurs meet international talents. Let us have one platform and discuss in reality. Why is it hard for us to find jobs? If you had joined this session early, Marko gave also a comment here that we have so many things. Actually, it's also my comments that I always give. Only the language is visible in the very big banner, but there are very other small things which we are always overlooking, which really count when it comes to employers. Employers, they look at many small things. And unfortunately, so for example, time management, most of foreigners, we are known for not caring when it comes to time. But this counts most to employers. Also, carelessness at the workplaces. People are not very much careful when hired. They just do things, roughly, they rush out, and the work is not done properly. Also, lack of initiatives, complaining. So at the end of the day, and complaining actually is not wrong. It's okay. But when you are complaining irrationally, it becomes not good. Yes. So when this happens, some of the employers, they are like, we have already hired 6 guys who are foreigners. They have all behaved this way. We cannot continue this game. This is the true comment. Some of the employers have that comment. They had commented it to me like, some of the people, you hire the first guy, first of all, he comes late. Secondly, he only works when he sees me around. If I'm not around, he's always on his phone or listening to music. He's not using enough time to work the work he's supposed to do until when he sees the boss is around. That is some of the characters that has been demonstrated by some of the people. So these are the things that I wish we should discuss with the Finnish entrepreneurs so that they tell us in reality what really counts. Why is it hard for foreigners to get jobs? But these are the things you will not find them discussed in the big topics. Yeah, but I'm really working towards that. Yeah, on top of that, okay, the language barrier. Language barrier, I will try my best not to say Mr. or Mrs. Yes, the language barrier is true, but I made a comment in the beginning, and my comment is contradictory to most of the comments. Language is of course, how can I say? Language only gives the compatibility. Language is not a restriction to connect or to integrate. Language is only providing compatibility. The only reason you become connected or not connected is functionality. When I say functionality, I mean things such as, do you have things that someone else can accept you with? If you don't have the qualities that I can agree to sit with you on the same table, then even if we speak the same language, I will not accept you. And that is the situation. Language is learnable. That's why we have integration programs. That's why we have Finnish schools. You still have to learn the language anyway. But the thing is, if you have the qualities that are needed by employers, you will be encouraged to go through the language school. Please, we already lock your position here. Now go to the language school after you are done. After you have reached this level, you don't even have to be like really fluent. When you reach this level, come and we will discuss again. You will always get this comment by employers who have realized that you have the qualities that they need. But if the potential employer sees you don't have the qualities and you don't speak Finnish, they will speak boldly. I'm sorry, we cannot take you because you can't speak Finnish. So that's the thing we have to take into account. Yes, maybe I should say this should be the end of our session, though I'm not disconnecting. This is just to allow Marko. Marko, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Maybe you can come and say a few words to wrap up. I will still stay for a few more minutes in order to address them. Yeah.
Thank you for. I really agree on Ezekiel on many things, and yeah, and about the language, many times you can show your motivation with the language. At least when you are trying to learn the language actively, you can show your motivation with that. That's something also, because many times the Finns think that you are not here to stay.
That is true.
Yeah.
Very
And
important.
if they like feel that you are not even trying to learn Finnish, then they really think that you are not going to stay.
That is true.
And then why to hire you if you are not going to stay? That is
true. Yes. That is a very, very, very other strong point. Yeah, very, very strong point. Thank you so much, Marko, for the point.